ridiculous.
I had to tell you the story. That's part of it.
I'm like, how are you at phone sex?
So,
is it just like a heavy breather over the phone?
I don't.
Remember, he doesn't talk on the phone. He only texts. So you can't hear the heavy breathing.
Anyway, so there we were with this guy in the dark, one flashlight, two people.
Pulled out his pole.
Right
Pulls out. Gotcha.
Trouble
I'm there.
All right.
Yes.
So
Was it big?
we get it all. We get everything cut off. Start getting some vitals on him. Get an IV on him. The ambulances passed the scene, so they had to turn around and come back. And then they drive, and then they're down the dirt road too far, and then they had to back up. And when they're backing up, they run into a bunch of trees.
Justin,
and they
can you
have
hear us
people
now?
backing up.
Yeah, I got you guys now.
Another ambulance.
I am so glad Justin's back. Like, we are hearing the worst
I
fucking
kind of want to hear the
scenario.
end, though.
Than everything.
Oh yeah, you do want to hear.
Wait,
it.
wait.
So just pause real quick before we hear the end. Now, Molly, I have been watching you the entire evening.
Oh.
Your camera's coming in perfect. I just want to make sure that we can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me talking?
Oh, perfect.
There she is.
Winning.
So
Hallelujah.
let's put a pop on Jason's story.
Put a pin in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's get back to, you know what I feel like? This is like, I feel like in Joe Dirt, like when they're doing, like they have to pause Joe Dirt's story, like to go to another day. Like that's how today has been right now. So it's like Joe Dirt, since you're on
I was
there.
about to say you're saying it wrong.
Continue. So listen, so Justin, you're in the back of the ambulance.
I wish
Your
I had a
butt
mullet.
hurts. Your butt hurts. You're not
Yeah,
allowed to
dude.
have
If I had a
Let's
mullet,
go
that's
to
it. Dude. I'm actually growing it out, dude. You see this here? It's coming in. It's that awkward stage.
No, we can't see you.
Nobody's ever gonna let you have.
Can you see this? See this? My hair? It's coming in. It's nice. I can't hear you.
They're muted.
No, he's four.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Are we in?
Yeah.
So Justin, your ass hurts. And
Okay. All right. So yeah. So I'm in the back, man, and then so I guess I get at some point.
Close the computer.
Are we back? Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Justin.
Yes.
We stay there. Okay. Just
I'm not
stay
going
there.
anywhere.
Everything-
like he is like the Apollo 13.
What do you think about this hair here, dude?
I'm jiggling now. So I'm never getting back to work.
I can't hear you. Do you want your computer?
Hey, I stirred the fucking tanks, all right? I stirred the fucking tanks.
By the way, Bill Paxton, Apollo 13, for next to Twister, the only other movie he stayed alive with. So, this would be a little fact.
I love the random facts.
Yeah.
Can we finish the poll?
No. Hold the poll story. Hold the poll story.
Only the whole story.
Yeah. So right now, you.
It's more of a fireworks story.
Yeah, I'm like, we talked about it. We've got all kinds of like things. I'm so lost. I'm listening.
That's how it is.
Can we draw you a picture?
That is how it is.
So the reality is, like, you went. Sometimes you go too much into the detail.
No, because that's what you're seeing. That's what's going on. But that's relevant. Is that not relevant? If you were doing, yes,
Exactly. By a raise of hands. Okay. Let's see the picture you painted. Let's just see by raise of hands. Who thought the pole was sticking out of a man's body?
so did I. That's part of the reason I brought it up.
Hey, he gave you a real Van Gogh description.
I was like, somebody give me some bulky dressing. You know what I mean? I'm like, your scenario situation was horrible.
Well,
You
wouldn't expect something like that.
I think he wants you to think what he was thinking. So I think he thought it was in his mind too. And then the guy pulled it out.
Well, yeah, because what the fuck is this? Oh,
Can you tell
Oh,
us
no.
about your story?
Oh my god.
sorry.
Guys naked.
No, it's not.
No, he's just Polish.
Not
So, we get there, we fucking he's hyperventilating, we tell him, try to calm down, got the IV, EMS is there. I'm like, all right, let's get him in a truck so we can. Yeah. So I'm like, so cut his shirt off and listen to his lung sounds, diminish right lung sounds. You guys have swelling, you got bruising. You know, it's dark. So I'm like, let's get in the truck. And let's see what's going on. Get in the truck, see what's going on. From then, okay, we're looking at his vitals, all right? Well, pressure's good, heart rate's good, everything's good as far as that goes. Well, normal. Blood pressure's normal, heart rate's normal. The only thing was he was hyperventilating, okay? And his sats were 88.
Why don't you put him in the. Boys, if you guys they're over here.
I'm trying to like get this whole picture.
Huh?
This is the other part.
I need
right?
makeup.
He's got wounds to his head.
Remember?
So we're trying to find out what the hell is going on with the wounds to his head.
Here.
And apparently,
You guys can craft.
before,
You want to put
he
him in here?
it was about a day. So yeah.
Very good.
So
The sprinkle one thing.
No, it's not bleeding. Nothing was bleeding. Nothing was bleeding. Actually, I was.
But I don't know if it's the word that's in the question. Like,
Come on.
we're never going to get done.
If you're doing it full of stuff, you're gonna go, well, what is that from? Right? You're gonna what happened?
Eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Well, it plays a role, okay? So what happened? An arrow went in his head. An arrow went through and through. Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah.
I love you with all of her. I respect you deeply.
No.
A lot great for this community. So with everything that has been going on right now, what the fuck? The arrows in his head?
That's no arrow. It was from yeah.
So, I ask you a question. I have to talk to you.
Yeah.
So, the pull the man pulled out of his head.
It wasn't in him.
The bar.
But it wasn't part of an arrow from the day before.
No. There was a different weapon because of the people in the
They
woods.
shot him with an arrow before.
Who shot him with an arrow?
No, I mean, I didn't go see. I didn't go that far into it. I'm sorry. I should have.
You didn't ask enough questions.
So that is where I'm going. That's what I have a problem. That's what I have a fucking problem.
No.
You and her have the same exact.
I didn't be rude. I just had to keep going in and out.
Yeah. Ooh. My man.
What's fucking going on? What the fuck, man?
Furthermore, as we go on to finish so no arrow. It's just little puncture through. It's no big deal.
Still working on it.
I moved my mic when I left.
You know what's funny is I think every time we try to have Justin virtually, it's like having the nuts in the car. Yeah, it's fucking great. I love this happening actually.
All right. So so we're gonna try and learn this guy, but we. Yeah. So we're gonna try and learn him, but my thoughts are he is getting to the point where we're gonna be able to stabilize and we can go by ground. Doesn't have to fly. Okay. So, but that's not what it wasn't my decision. It wasn't my decision. So he was flown out, which you're not gonna go. It's not gonna go wrong. He's just probably higher level care. So on the way to the LZ,
Landing zone.
yes, It does. Very good. So, so the only thing that he was complaining about, he was hyperventilating. He was having pain from hyperventilating, right? His back pain and cramps, and then pain in his chest.
Right here.
Yeah, right here. Chain.
Mine's right here.
And his stats were 80. He did, yeah. He was exposed. There was nothing else. Yeah, he was very not happy about me cutting his pants. You know,
The camel pants.
they were cute.
I see. I'm telling you what, like them camos. Like I have camo glasses. Trish could not see my face. Like she could not see my face with the camo glasses.
Where is it?
No. She said that anyways.
So I don't know. So this is more of a story than necessarily a scenario.
Oh yes. I can't wait for
Yeah. Very fast.
So well, that is my assistant.
But the patient.
Oh yeah. Oh, we'd be fucking wasted. So the
White girl
the man shot basically a mortar from his chest, is what you say.
Yes.
No, we haven't gotten there yet.
I don't know
where.
where.
That was earlier. I
don't know when that part of the information came in.
That was
So-
right at the beginning.
Oh, so that's why you were there.
Maybe.
Did they tell you? Did you know that?
Yes.
That's why you were there. You knew that's why you were there.
We were there for
Is that
a
Justin in
fire-
the background? Did I hear? Justin, you back?
Hello? Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Oh, there we go.
Jesus, I'm glad.
I
you're
was
back.
listening to this story.
Oh, did you hear this?
You haven't even heard the whole thing yet.
The worst.
I've only
fucking
caught
scenario
bits and
ever.
pieces.
Fucking.
And
So
there's
just
a
so
guy
you
with
know,
an arrow in his head.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yesterday.
So
I mean,
Yesterday.
this
so
is
just
really.
a heads up to everybody. This podcast is going to take me about a week to edit.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a giant.
So,
clusterfuck.
Justin,
Yeah.
your ass hurt,
Okay.
and you're in
So
the back of the ambulance.
let's get back into the business. So
Gotcha.
here I am. Right here I am. Here, Pop, squat there. So here I am. I'm in the back, right? And I didn't know I was getting flown. You know, I didn't know. Next thing I know, as I remember looking up, and I'm thinking to myself, "Huh, what are these lights up here that I'm looking at? These don't look like rescue lights. You know, what is this? It's like green buttons. I'm like, what am I looking at?" Then all of a sudden, I don't really remember anything else. And then I remember being on this like eerie quiet, but this cold breeze across my face, which come to find out was the helipad on top of Holmes, and it's right there, you know, on the coast. So you have the sea breeze, and
Yep.
it's I'm thinking, man, it's like early morning, you know, it's like 7:00, you know, the sun had just came up, and I'm thinking, man, I remember kind of going in, and I don't remember anything else after that. So apparently, you know, afterwards, I was making jokes. I was having a good time in the trauma bay, according to the doctors that were in there. Nobody really thought that it was a big deal. So they did the fast scan, and they saw that I had some fluid in my belly. They knew I had the femur fracture, and so they took me in for exploratory surgery just to see, hey, maybe I tore my small intestine and I had some fluid leaking out. They thought not a huge ordeal. Of course,
So-
I knew this all in the follow up with the doctors afterwards, you know. So I guess when they went in there to look, I would assume that's when I got intubated, right, to make sure I was good. So I would assume that's when the intubation occurred. And then they did the surgery, and they found out that the fluid in my belly wasn't, in fact, fluid, but it was blood.
Oh,
So I had tore my mesentery, tore that artery, and then I had apparently tore the vessels off of the intestines themselves, and top of having all that blood in there. So the doctor was completely behind the 8 ball, she said. So she goes in and she said, I guess apparently through all of this, my blood pressure was normal, my heart rate was normal, everything was good, but I was down a few liters of blood total in that abdominal cavity, and then plus in my thigh from the femur fracture. So she went through and started to fix all of the vessels, try to reattach them to the intestines, and then repair the mesenteric. So she did all of that, and then they were like, well, we'll put the wound vac on, and we'll see what happens within the next 12 hours. Of course, unbeknownst to me, right? So here I am, I guess, on a vent in ICU, trauma ICU, waiting to see what happens. Next day rolls around. According to the doctor, she's surprised that the surgeries worked and nothing clotted off. The only thing that was what they described in the surgical reports that I read after was that the sigmoid colon was completely necrotic. So they had another doctor come in um, on New Year's and do the surgery to do a colon resection and pulled out the sigmoid colon and then reattached it. And then supposedly they were surprised that I didn't have to end up with a colostomy bag. You guys are frozen. You're frozen again.
So there he was, in pain.
I just, there's so much about your story that like left a. The most important part of the story is the man the day before had an.
And we
Right.
don't know how that happened or why.
Well, no, we don't.
And we decided we didn't care about that.
No,
'cause
we
it was
didn't.
yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
It was good.
It was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Just know
Same reason
that
why
would be
I
the
don't
most
care why
interesting part
somebody
of
was
your
in
story.
jail last year.
you know. It's just,
Well, that's
most
that's another funny part of the story. Actually,
Oh my
is
god.
that
proceed.
okay. So the only type of identification or information that was able to be passed on
Was
was
from his
the
ankle click.
booking record.
So
Oh.
just so you know, we got Justin and Molly back. Molly, just have to unmute.
All right, so we got Molly. Molly,
Yeah.
you there?
I'm back in.
Molly's
Put me
unmuted.
in, coach.
We don't want you. We want Molly.
Put me in, coach.
The best part.
No,
of Justin,
you're out. It's my turn.
The best part of
Yeah.
Justin is this woman. This woman. You know, Molly. Oftentimes,
Yeah,
people,
Justin survived. Now it's Molly.
people don't know like what it is to be a firefighter's wife. You know, and you have lived this. And then, so where are you when you get the call? Like, how do you find out that Justin's been in an accident?
I was home, and we had at that time a 1.5-year-old, and then I was pregnant with our youngest one.
Oh, wow.
So I was changing our older one's diaper. I thought it was Justin calling, so I didn't run to the phone. I finished changing his diaper and went and checked my phone. Come to find out, it was a firefighter from that was on scene calling
Osceola.
me. From Osceola calling and letting me know, leaving me a voicemail saying that he was being flown to Holmes. So I actually called him back, and he said that he was being flown to Holmes. He was going to be a trauma, and that's where he was going. So at that point, I don't know how you firefighters spread the word, but I had firefighters from Martin County calling me that knew Justin, calling me, asking me if I needed a ride, asking how I was going to get there. So I called Justin's mom and told them that he got into an accident and that we needed to go to Holmes Regional right away. So I threw random stuff in a bag, got my son dressed, and we headed that way. Because he was a trauma alert, he had a special code name, so they couldn't give me certain information other than he landed. So when I got there, we were able to see him, but they really heavily sedated him. So he was just under a sheet, completely out of it. So at that point, they just kind of took him into immediate surgery. So everybody that was there from Orlando, chiefs and stuff, were already there who met me. And we all just waited in the waiting room. So that was...
So from the time you see him Then he goes into surgery. When do you get like any news back from surgery at all?
Um, it was within, I would say, about an hour or two. That I was actually telling Justin today, it was like the doctor's walk of shame. It felt like the longest waiting room hallway that she walked into, and she had to walk all the way down, and you could just tell the look on her face. It was not the torn. She just thought, like Justin said, that it was a part of his intestines was torn. She was very enthusiastic, ready to go in. However, when she came to me, she said that that's not what it was, and that he lost a lot of blood, and that they were going to try everything that they could to do to repair it. At that point, um, I guess I wasn't picking up on her code words that essentially she didn't think it was going to. Um, she walked away and continued working on surgery. Um, so it was just kind of up in the air whether or not it was going to work or not.
So in your mind though, what do you think? What are you
Um,
thinking? Huh?
there was no option. He didn't have an option. He was going to make it through, and I just kept praying that Um, there was no option. I told Justin that I always had this feeling from God that he wasn't going to leave. It wasn't his time. He
And did,
wasn't going to go.
did you like before any of this stuff happened? Like it's always interesting to me like what the other half of a fireman is like. Do you ever like worry about the phone call or about whether he's coming home or not and that type of thing
No, I never really thought about it. And
as a
even
wife?
people to this day say, "Oh my gosh, your husband's on the helicopter." I'm like, "Oh, we've been through worse." No, I never really think. No, you almost think, like when you read articles, you always think, "Oh, that's so sad." Well, it's never going to be you. Like, "Oh, that's so sad," and then you move on with your daily life. It just so happened
Yeah.
at this point that was us. Um, but we just, and I, of course, that night after he was done with surgery, they brought him up to ICU, and they essentially told me we're going to wait on him for the next 24 hours. They were not going to do any more surgeries because his body couldn't withstand it right now. So they were going to wait the 24 hours and see what happened. So I went home because I had nothing for our older son, Ryan. That was 1.5 of myself. I didn't pack anything. Um, so we went home, and I called the nurses station every hour and made sure he was okay. And the next morning he was fine and his levels seemed to be good.
Man, I tell you, like, we would get there all the, I always fuck with Justin about having the death pool and shit like that. But man, like the every day, like, we're trying to see what the next thing is and what, and like being medical people, I think we always think the worst, you know what I mean? Versus, the stuff. And like, we were just, like, we couldn't imagine like what you were going through at that time. And
Yeah, it was thank goodness I'm very naive. And thank goodness the ICU nurse, her name was Naomi. I remember her to this day, was amazing. She treated me like none of my questions were stupid. I was wanting to know like if his pee was the right color. That's how like ignorant I am. And she answered all my questions. And I'm very I don't like blood. So, but they wanted me to watch so I can like change his bandages. I'm like, I don't think I'm qualified. But they, of course, were like, oh, no, you can. You're going to have to stay because you're going to have to help him. So,
you're gonna have to do this, yeah.
yeah, you're going to have to do it. But the nursing staff, if it wasn't for the people at homes, it would not have been the success, I don't think, and all those doctors that he had there.
You know, when you look at like who did you feel supported by like the fire department, like as a like a family member type thing, or
Yes. So of course I was at that point I was 5 months pregnant. So of course they were like, "Did you eat today? Did you eat enough? Did you do And the amount of food that they would bring to the hospital daily, there was always somebody there with us during visiting hours. The amount of the first day we were there, Station 1 themselves just like emptied their pockets and put it in an envelope and handed it to me at the hospital. It was like, and Justin's dad was like, "Do you know how much money do you have?" I'm like, "No, I'm not. I don't, it didn't matter to me at that second, but it was a lot of money that they just literally emptied out their pockets. They did a GoFundMe that raised a lot of money to help us because Justin was out of work for 6 months. The chief at the time put in, sick time to allow him to be off. Yeah, the firefighters were there. We got a hotel for as long as we needed. And everything was just like paid for. Like you don't even say anything; they're just paid.
Little Jimmy came. He's the one that came collect money at the station. That's what we find out Justin is. In the hospital and stuff. And it's years later, like to watch. Because they really felt hopeless. Like it was gonna be bad. But years later, you fast forward being in Savannah in a teaching with Justin and Jimmy.
We almost had to create a GoFundMe for Jimmy because I almost shot him.
Yeah.
Dude, if that guy had poked me or karate chopped me in the neck one more time, that's all it would take is one more time. I would have been in prison and my butt would have hurt for real.
But for me, it was like because we got Mike's with us the first time ever, Asian Mike. And like I'm like, man, Mike, you don't understand. Like this motherfucker was collecting money for this guy a few years ago, and in an Uber. It's I did not meet Molly till like years later. Like a couple years later, I meet Molly, and this saint of a woman that shows up. It's the mother of Justin's children. Like you're an amazing woman as far to go through all the stuff because this happens to Justin. But Molly, how long after that did Justin get bad news again from the doctor?
2 years.
2 years later, you get bad news that Justin's got cancer.
What was it? Almost 3 years later, Jess?
No, it was a year later.
Oh no, it was a year later because he had to have a follow-up. He had to have surgery almost 2 years later, but he had a follow-up with the life scan for the fire department. And he said, "You know what? Let's do it and see what my insides look like, and see how everything kind of shook up." And that's when he found out he had thyroid cancer.
My God, thank God he did that, man. And now you get the news that Justin's got cancer. Like, can you even describe?
No big deal.
I'm telling you,
we always joke he's going to die of a paper clip. So it's not going to be a big thing. It's going to be like a paper clip or a paper cut that just like bleeds out. That's how he's going to
go. Like, so you go through this, like, because now Justin's going through treatments and doing all the stuff. And now you got 2 kids.
Yep. And then we couldn't be around him for over 2 weeks because he had radiation. So we had to stay away. It just, we always say God won't give you more than you can't handle. So
that's true. Amen.
We try to say we've already had our fair share. So maybe, give it to somebody else for a little bit, but.
Listen, dude, that reaper came walking and I kicked him square in the dick and said, "Pack your bags, homie."
Justin has like a tough ass motherfucker. But me and Justin had some deep ass conversations in like the middle of nowhere. We'll do some more shots too. Get a chance. And the thing about not being around his kids with that treatment, like that, just as he's said that to me several times where I'm like, motherfucker, I can't even. Like that shit is that's probably one of the toughest things you ever done, Justin, right?
Yeah, it was weird when because they put you in a room, and when they put you in the room, the guy comes in wearing a Geiger counter and a rad dosimeter, and has a paint can, and it's a lead paint can that pulls out like a little egg, and then out of the little egg you unscrew it, and then there's like the little pill in a glass vial, and he's like, "All right, man, hey, go ahead. Yep, let's go. Time's ticking. Swallow it." Okay. So then you swallow it and you're in this room, and then they hit you with the counter, see how much you're emitting. And they're like, "All right, cool, man. We'll see you in a day or 2." and then close the door, and it's like the dungeon door, it slams shut and it locks you here going across. And they didn't come back in for 24 hours.
Oh wow.
And then did the thing like, all right, cool, I guess you're good to go. And then you can go home, but you can't be near your kids for 2 weeks.
How long?
2 weeks.
Holy shit.
I was
That's
like,
crazy.
okay. So, I was a hazmat guy. I did that for 5 years, so I happened to have a, in my, acquirees, you're fireman, you acquire things.
How does this
had a,
Geiger counter get here? This a Ledlam?
I had a rad pager, and I set it off from 10 parking spaces away, headed walking to the car.
Wow.
I heard it singing at the door, and I was like, huh, okay. So I went and stayed at the spare bedroom at my parents' house, stayed away for 2 weeks, and, run, sweat, taking a shower every hour, trying to get all the stuff washed off. I don't think I've ever drank as much water as I had ever in that time frame. But then even then, you come back and you're like, all right, cool. It's at a low enough level. We're good to be back home. And then like, oh yeah, by the way, you might want to use some jimmies for a while because your swimmers are going to be infected. I'm like, what?
Oh wow.
So yeah, so they're like, yeah, don't try to have kids for at least 6 to 8 months. Otherwise, you could have some birth defects. And fortunately, we had said, we're done at 2, but that's life changing for a lot of people. So it's yeah, man, that those 2 years, 30 and 1 were pretty eventful, for lack of better terms.
Dude, that's insanity, man. But it's funny. Like, there's been a few times that, not funny, but a few times that he was feeling pretty shitty. But I remember, so Justin gets COVID like a few months ago, and and like, so it goes like I talked to Justin. He was he was feeling pretty good. He's at that high of the calm before the storm. He is feeling good, and then I don't hear from Justin for like 2 days. So I'm like, man, this motherfucker better not be dead. So I end up calling Molly, which Justin ends up calling me. And then, again, it's just one of those things where I think he felt like he was physically and mentally beat down because he had not seen anybody for days.
Right.
The last picture I had of Justin was he made himself a sandwich and he sent me, look, he's eating a sandwich right now story. And then I don't hear from him for like 2 days. And then it's fucking the despair, man, that you were in that. Remember that? You were in the bathroom floor. If you don't remember that, like
I'll tell you what, man, I should have the person walking out
you,
coconut off the palm tree and making a Wilson out of it. You know what I mean? Like,
dude,
somebody here.
But what I remember, Justin, from that is that I just that's the most pure love for people you have right there. When you just in this, all you want to do is be able to see people one more time. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I just want to see these people one more time and stuff. And that's man, that's amazing, bro. Like, you're a good dad, man. And to live through this whole thing and then just, oh, I'll cut you out. Where you at? You there?
No, John.
Hello.
I'm good. We're good. Yeah,
got you now.
Mic check.
But Justin, man,
good. Yeah.
It's
funny to see how things full circle. You know what I mean? Because a few weeks ago we had a bilateral femur fracture that we flew to Holmes. The same helipad, same spot, same doors, same drama bays, same thing, but in a completely different spot in life. You know what I'm saying? So it's so weird to be that guy being on the other side of the seat. You know what I mean? So we walk out after we get done. I'm sitting there on the roof, and it's just that dead quiet with the sea breeze. And I'm like, man, nothing ever felt the exact same as it did with those 2 sea breezes and the dead silence. I was like, man, this is weird. You know what I mean? So then you gotta start making jokes and carrying on. You know what I mean? And but it was weird for that split second. You know what I mean? Being in the same spot, just in 2 different roles. So, but hey, man, hopefully we do what we do to let people have that second breath, that second chance. You know what I mean? So,
I think even old man Tom would be proud of you right now.
Yeah, I'd
You know
still
what
keep.
I mean?
Old man Tom.
You know, even old man
I'd
Tom
still
would be proud of you right now. Going there. That old man hates you.
I can't.
That old man
No,
would
he's
kick
a
you in
good.
the teeth right now if he saw you.
Right after he found out I see.
Hey, Justin, you know,
What?
you know, Justin and Molly, man, the one thing, I know, sorry about all the technical difficulties today and stuff, but, you know, like, I do want to say, man, this year, as you know, things have progressed and things were where we are at, and you're an amazing, humongous part of where we're at. And I'm so happy that you're part of this company and how much stuff, what's up? And how much we have been able to do. And but it's not just you, man. You're a team, because if it wasn't for Molly allowing you to give up your time with them and your kids, you wouldn't be here, man. I wouldn't be here. So Molly, thank you so much for just letting us take so much of Justin, and and just, and like the weirdest times, like taking your kids to the fair and having to go get a raft. That's a true story that happened.
We have been on some.
So I'm
We
very.
have been on some crazy rides for you, Carlos, and it's always
Oh, I
family
appreciate
adventures. We all load up,
Yeah.
all the kids, and we get going.
I just tell them, hey, you don't ask where helmets from. All right, we're getting. You don't ask where from, but you're an accessory. We commit a bunch of felonies here.
Yeah.
How many times have you driven in the
Hey,
carpool lane?
a bunch of times with dead
By
bodies.
yourself?
And it's really weird because our kids now are like not creeped out by it, and like we
Mine
name
either.
them and they call them by their names.
Yeah,
Very weird.
that Justin gives them. He names every cadaver he picks
He
up.
does.
That's so funny.
The best part,
And they all have-
I'm gonna tell you the best Justin kid story is that we were teaching in Broward, and you look over there, and Justin's kids are like in dive mask on the water. I don't know if they're breathing or not. I don't know if they use that shit or not. But the little one is shaming the big one, and they're going under the water with it. That little one's the worst one.
Oh, he's gonna be a handful.
And he doesn't make eggs. He doesn't make eggs for Justin anymore.
Yeah, he said I disrespected him by telling him I ate an eggshell. Yeah.
He won't make eggs for Justin. He told him, "I'll make eggs for mom. I'll make eggs for my brother, but not for you. You're out."
Because he knows there was no eggshells in there. He's the perfect egg cracker.
I love that kid.
That's so funny.
I love that kid. He's gonna run this company one day. Him and Zoe are gonna run this company one day, and it'll be great.
Jason,
Hey,
take
man.
that hat off. Those luscious locks. Take the hat off, man. Molly, just
hey.
tell him to grow my hair. Show him that hair. Shake it around a
Look
little
at
bit. Shake it around.
Oh, look at those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, but his is curly. Yours isn't going to be like that.
Yeah, yours is gonna
Yeah.
look horrible and white
Yeah, look
trashy.
at Justin's. No, look at Justin's right now. Look at it.
Yours is gonna look white trashy
It
and
looks like a bum.
not great. Yeah, I'm
Oh, no.
definitely I'm against the Kentucky waterfall you're gonna have there, man. So for sure. Hey,
Look, I'm gonna grow a mustache.
You're gonna do what?
He's not growing a
gonna
mustache
grow-
either. Nothing's gonna happen with you. You're gonna have the same hairdo you've had since I've known you,
Yes.
and the same size shoulders.
There it is.
You know what I mean? Come on. So, hey, what are we at time wise here with all the technical difficulties and everything?
I was just gonna say, because of the back and forth with the internet and the suicidal editing that I'm gonna have to do this weekend.
Yeah.
I joke, I kid. Do not Baker act me for that one.
We won't. We need our show.
Right.
Did you still want to do that thing with Trish and myself?
We will push it to the next time.
We'll push
Well,
it
do
to
we-
the next
Do
time.
we get to hear the rest of the story?
What story?
The heroin head.
Story.
The hippo? No. Like if we have to hear one more minute of that,
I
I'm gonna
need-
fucking die.
I need to know how it is.
Everybody is in suspense right now. We
Well,
have to
I
finish the
feel,
story.
just because of freaking. Okay, there we go.
Oh.
Because of the time frame that we're at right now, and
It's almost over.
the day that we're on.
Are you
It's
sure?
almost done.
Okay, so we're gonna end 2021 with Arrowhead.
No.
Yeah.
The fuck we are. So
Firework.
as the CEO of this company, we'll table the story till the next time.
Okay.
So
Well, actually, no. I actually say that's better, and I'm sorry for saying that, Jason.
No,
but
yeah.
because of the in and outs that we had with this, with your story,
yeah,
there were probably a lot of gaps, just like the gap created by the arrow in the head.
I would like to be able to leave this podcast so I can go fill some gaps.
So I need to fill in more gaps next time. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, more gaps.
Yeah. For Amanda, her gap will be
You
filled. So, hey,
You should ask
Justin,
more questions.
what is your New Year's resolution?
Oh, I forgot we were doing this.
I didn't
What'd he
hear
say?
it. What is it?
I'm gonna try to
What is
find
your
my
new-
shoulders.
Molly,
That semi.
Molly, you got any New Year's resolutions?
No,
She's
I
gonna-
think just
Shoulders.
I'm gonna help Justin find his shoulders.
That's gonna be a long trip.
I'm just gonna keep Justin on the straight and narrow. You know, I'm really working on it.
I don't think those things have ever been found.
I'm gonna work on it.
You're an
this
amazing
year.
person, Molly. Thank you so much.
Thank-
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
maybe the fish tank situation gets fixed at your house. How's that? Is there any updates on the fish tank problem?
How it's dirty?
10 minutes additional that she could have next year for pulling back. I love the fact that you're not laughing into the mic.
Let me tell you.
What's the fish tank issue?
Oh,
What's
well,
fish
Justin
tank?
had
Like that it's dirty,
Well, Justin had
or
a
that
fish
that
tank
leaked
that-
all over our house.
yeah, the one that leaked all over the house.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that
that's-
happened to me too, and he was on shift.
No,
Let me
no,
tell you-
this is a 55-gallon fish tank that leaked about half of it through our house and into our garage. And you know what our kids were saying the whole time? What are going to happen to the fish as it's flooding our
How
house?
big? How big?
76.
It's 50
76-gallon tank did that.
Oh,
And by the time I
oh.
came out and
Oh my
found
God.
the water, there was only 2 inches of water
We-
left in the
We
bottom
talked
of the
about
tank.
your text like
We-
not like 2 episodes ago.
We did.
Oh,
Oh
Yes.
fuck yeah, we are. You coming back in a second? Yeah.
Yeah.
all right,
Go
you
pee.
guys top us.
Yeah.
Go
then.
pee. I'm sure there's a big wad of something in there that needs to come out. Yeah. I still have it on my phone. So that's her right there.
What
everybody,
the
from
fuck,
text.
Carlos?
So we'll talk about that here in a second. But let me tell you about this fish tank situation.
I don't even know
Justin
what just happened.
Justin overestimates the fish tank thing. Me and Molly know what we're talking about here.
To the fish
I
tank.
know what you're talking about.
The
Like, I did not see the wall of fish tank.
oh yeah, the fucking
Oh, it
I
used
was
to be right. It used to be in this wall. That used to be the fish tank. R.I.P.
Cheers to the fish.
tank.
Cheers to the fish tank.
Oh no, we still have the fish. They're just in a little thing on the counter.
I'm glad that
Little thing on the counter. Yeah, it's called.
I'm glad that you're not gonna I'm glad you're not gonna have mold in your house, Molly, because of Justin's fish tank. Just saying.
There's a joke there somewhere.
Yeah, there's. I
I thought
feel
we were
like I'm
talking about the
missing
one-
out.
So listen, Justin
the
makes
restaurant.
us go to this one restaurant, me and Robbie, one time when we're in Martin County teaching, allegedly. And he says it's going to be the most glorious fish tank you've ever seen at a
The
restaurant.
biggest one ever.
Ever.
Oh,
I'm
it's
thinking
Flanagan's. Don't be
Yeah.
around Flanagan's. I love Flanagan's.
Justin's like, hey man, this is gonna be great. You're gonna love this. You go, Flanagan's? Really? Does it got a fish tank in there? I'm thinking
Huge.
we're thinking killer whales.
It is huge.
I'm thinking, man, sharks. This is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
And
me
there's
too.
like 5 beta fish in this thing.
It was like the size of that picture.
Like 5. I'm like, ma'am, can we get a seat by the big fish tank? She goes, this is the big fish tank right here.
Well, that's so sad because Flanagan's is the best, and it is. A big
Flanagan's
fish
is
tank.
good. I love it. I love their. It's delicious.
Now I'm sure he didn't promise you sharks in the fish tank.
He listen. I will get Robbie on this podcast. The man doesn't lie. He's human resources. But yeah. So that was the fish tank thing there.
That's so funny.
Hey, we're going to Flanagan's again here in a few months. We'll be there in Martin County again. We'll go to Flanagan's and we'll go do some hibachi. So Patricio, New Year resolution for you.
To plan the best fucking wedding I could plan.
Man, you could not have made a worse New Year resolution. Moving on.
No. Okay, so no, New Year's resolution. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Good.
Okay, so every time I've set a goal in this in this area, I've met it, and this goal is for 2022. I am proud to be able to produce 3 different shows right now, and my goal for 2022 for one of those shows to win Best of Orlando Weekly 2022.
Yes.
That's a good goal.
Absolutely. That's a great goal.
Yeah, which is gonna be us, and then I'm gonna predicting me, and like I like to call my hold on a second, I'm trying to find this this thing out here. Like I like to predict my shot like Babe Ruth. Is that I'm gonna cover the Tom and Dan sign out there.
Yes. Yes.
It's gonna
Absolutely.
happen.
Yes.
It's gonna happen there. So so as we win
Don't
the best
expect
podcast in Orlando.
Yeah,
Don't expect
Orlando
to see
Weekly
it.
usually posts the top 3 shows of the year. Number 1, of course, winning, and then the following 2 runner-ups. But let's
That's my thing. I like filling slots.
You gotta do
Slot filling. Hippo, you got a New Year's resolution?
Probably the best resolution that I could think of is in 2022. I am gonna work on my scenario game, and I'm gonna try to do a better job at making scenarios more realistic.
Make the story of resolution make
Excuse
sense.
me. Thank you. And scene.
Oh, he's got wavy curls going right now.
I know there's a bouncy one.
It's like.
What about you?
He's got the Kramer going.
What is your resolution? You've had a year to think about it.
I know, and I don't ever make them because they don't ever work. I'm going to
Still have it.
Oh, this is spicy veg.
That is him. That is her.
That's spicy veg.
Yeah. I still have it on my phone.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a treat. We have a treat tonight coming to the stage. Spicy veg.
Dude, oh yeah, it's the best fucking text message anybody's ever sent to me, ever. And if you don't mind,
Yeah,
it's got to
text
be
from
read.
last night.
Yeah, it's got to. It's got to be read by you because it only.
Should I?
What's that? What's that? Oh,
She's read your text.
In this thing?
yeah. Read it to that.
That's it.
I'm gonna read it the way that it was meant the night that I wrote it, which is "fuck you and your sauce." Oh wait, no, I can't read. Fuck you and your hot sauce. Jason didn't wash his hands good enough, and my vagina is still on fire.
Yes, go ahead, Patricia.
Okay, so just to clarify, because on my part, because the message reads, Jason didn't wash his hands enough.
That is correct.
This whole time, I thought it was Amanda.
Oh no,
That is Amanda.
Yeah.
There's too many Jasons.
I'm also Amanda.
And her fiance is Jason.
I was gonna say, good for you, Jason.
She was married to a Jason at the time. She was married to
longer.
she was married to a Jason at the time. It's man, that'd be great to have on the podcast because we were ostracized for divorces.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
that is correct.
we lost Justin, but I think Nolly's still there.
Hey, so so that you'll be a great podcast host.
I think I would be a great podcaster.
And
Even though I couldn't read my own text.
and her mom.
Tyler, did you tell Dad
Yeah,
what you did?
that was amazing.
Her mom is probably the best fucking funniest nurse you've ever seen in your whole entire life.
She literally texted me tonight. She's like 8,000 years old. She's like, but she texted me tonight. She's with my Aunt Brenda. I'm like, oh, you guys out on the prowl? And she's like, yeah, I'm trying to get somebody to scoop these cobwebs out of my vagina tonight. It's been a while.
It's the greatest. We had the best night
Check
shift.
out astherotaturns.com.
Yeah. We had the best night shift on a fucking pediatric ER that you could ever have of anybody else ever.
So inappropriate.
Save it,
Can we talk about the new nurse?
saving life. Wait. Next show.
Next year. We'll talk about it next year.
Carlos, you got any New Year's resolution, baby?
Human optimization, being a better person.
Oh, there he is, right there. Are you drinking some Cavassier right there?
Yeah, it looks like
I'm
it.
trying to get the show to be promoted by Buffalo Trace. You know?
Oh yeah, we advertised Buffalo Trace like the first few months we were doing this. We got they sent us a nice cease and desist letter. They're good people at the Buffalo Trace Company. You know what I mean? Yeah, come on back.
Actually, I'm sorry, I had to add this one in there. Metaverse. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
Metaverse.
Yeah, he's on some metaverse.
Know it.
Yeah.
NFTs, what are NFTs?
You know, metaverse is like. You think that's gonna be like the Betamax of Facebook?
No, I think that's going to be the Facebook
Millennials.
of Facebook. Like it's gonna change everything, man.
Millennials, Betamax,
You're-
like
you're-
small VHS tapes.
you're
This
gonna-
is pre-DVD. That we had this black thing to put in the machine.
You're gonna see December
Where do you
31st,
put it?
2022, when we're
Put it in that
at the built-in studio where we will have.
Yes.
I will be like, you see, Carlos, I told you about Metaverse.
Yeah.
Man, it's gonna be my digital self telling you.
Hey, that's cool.
Wow, that's Tipsy Patricio. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely that, man. You know, listen, it's been a great year.
Yes.
And it's I really do think that, man, we've been in some ups and downs throughout the year, literally. Some ups and downs, somewhat have yous, somewhat nots. And some faces have come through. We've had many Michael Knights.
Yeah, we have.
We've had a few guys, and you get shot in the face, and then shit happens, and you end up with a talking car. It's an awesome show. Millennials, great show. It's on Netflix.
Yes. Watch it. Definitely watch it.
But
Mr. Feeney's a car.
to have the ability to come from like the garage, right? Like we had this shit was like in a garage with borrowed dive gear, 5 helmets, 5 vests, like three years ago to
what it is now. We're
working for vendors.
Yeah.
We're actually we're putting people in jobs, and
You have a full-time employee.
we have one
We have a full-time employee.
Yeah, it's freaking crazy.
It's amazing, and we love it.
And we haven't lost our identity, I think, in the sense of like who we are. Like we haven't. Like I think we're there, But then you have the great guys like Justin and his wife Molly, and the Jimmy Reyes of the world, and the Asian Mikes, and those like the people that have stuck around through stuff. I'm extremely appreciative, and I fucking love the fact that we're here, man. Like you know what I mean. And man, what can 2022 bring? We'll see.
Amanda, we'll have an Amanda squared.
Oh yeah. I definitely feel like 2022 is going to bring the rescue company a huge amount of training
Business.
and
Classes.
education.
Did you say
and
trannies? Because
I thought you said tranny also.
I would hire a tranny.
I was thinking training.
I will hire a
Got
tranny.
it.
Well, we don't discriminate.
No, absolutely.
all. So-
However you identify,
Exactly.
we will bring you onto this company.
Does not matter.
And we'll love you.
Rescue
Yeah.
Company 1 Plus.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, we bring everybody.
Whatever you want.
You know what I mean? We bring everybody here.
We have a wide variety
Yeah.
already.
Damn right you do. And a tranny brings titties, which it's like really is a hiring requirement. You're gonna work for me, you gotta have some titties. You know what I
Listen,
mean?
you can teach them how to type. You can't teach them how to
Grow
get titties.
tits. And that is the quote for
Oh my
2022.
what the fuck?
Aren't you supposed to go to Medieval Nights or something like that?
Medieval Mites?
Aren't you supposed to go to that or something?
Mites.
Medieval Times ended about
Knights.
10 minutes ago.
Oh, fuck. Sorry. We're trying to get out of here early. You go make it.
I hope the blue team won, sir.
It's green.
Happy New Year, everyone. And
Happy New Year.
be careful with fireworks.
Hey, Justin, I love you.
And not be an asshole.
Justin, I love you. Molly, I love you. Hey, remember,
We love
man,
you too.
be nice to people. Don't
Yes.
drive drunk.
Don't.
And, hey, go fuck yourself. Somebody wants to talk to you.